So you want to install Fedora Linux on your machine, but you are wondering how you can do that without making a mistake. So in this video, I'll show you how you can accomplish it. So let's get started. Firstly, let's download the ISO image. Let's first search for, Fedora, and let's go to their website. And all right, we are on the 41th release of the Fedora operating system. And from here, we can just scroll down and download it under the Fedora Workstation option. Let's press download now, and we can download the ISO image from here, which is made for Intel and AMD machines. But there's one thing I would like to clarify here. If we proceed with the download from here, it will download an ISO image that contains GNOME as the default desktop environment. However, if you want to use a different desktop environment, then you have to go to Get Fedora and then go to Spins. And here you can see all the desktop environments that are available, and you can choose anyone you like. For this video, I'm going to download the default one, that is the GNOME one, and I'm just going to press the download button here. All right, it has started the download, and you can see that it is only 2 gigabytes in size. Now I'm going to cancel the download because I have already downloaded it. So let's just cancel it. Now we need to create a bootable USB. And for that, we can either use Fedora Media Writer, or you can also use Rufus and Balena Etcher, or maybe any other software that you like. But I recommend using Ventoy to create a multi-boot USB. With Ventoy, you can use multiple images in a single USB, and you can decide to choose whichever ISO you want to boot from. For the purpose of this video, let's use Fedora Media Writer. So let's just go ahead and download it. And all right, we are using Windows. Okay, it is downloaded. Now let's open it. This one. All right, so we have to perform the setup. All right, we have to install it, huh? I don't like doing this. Next, run Fedora Writer. All right, let's open it. Where is it? All right, okay. So what we have done is we have downloaded an ISO. So we are not going to choose this option. We have to select in. Just let's go to select ISO. Next, this is the USB drive I'm using. And now select the ISO. It is in the downloads folder, and here it is. Let's select it. All right, now let's just proceed ahead and write. Let me just show you the other screen that is presented. And this is not playing well with this dual screen setup. All right, so now just click on write, and it will start writing the image on the USB. So I'll just skip forward for you guys. I have to wait for this setup to complete for quite some time, but you won't have to. I will do the editing magic here. Now that we have created a bootable USB, let's restart our machine and boot from it. A lot of computers today will give you an option to boot from a USB if it is detected by default. However, if your PC doesn't give you an option to boot from USB by default, then you have to look up for an option on how to do it. The most common keys that are used to boot from a USB by majority of the vendors are either F9, F10 or F12. In case of Lenovo Thinkpad, which I have to press F12 to select the device I want the computer to boot from. Now that we have booted from the USB, let's just go ahead and start the Fedora Workstation. Now that we have booted from the live USB, we can actually use the operating system without even installing it on our machine. So this is an effective way of experiencing the Fedora Workstation. So once you made up your mind that you want to install this GNOME-based Fedora Workstation, you can just go ahead and click on Install Fedora. So now let's just select language, and all right, keyboard is fine, time and date is fine. Now let's go to installation destination. All right, so here we need to select the drive where we want to install this operating system. Currently this option is already checked in where it will be installed. Here automatic is by default selected, and if we proceed with this option and then just click done, what it will do is it will make all the partitions by itself, and all the data on that partition will be deleted. So if you have a blank disk and there's no important data on it and you want to go ahead and delete everything on it and make partitions on it, then you can select this option. However, for the purpose of this video, I will be using custom option. I will show you what are the partitions that are needed for this operating system to work. And the major advantage of doing that is you will learn how you can dual boot a Linux and a Windows operating system. So now let's create a partition table. Let's click on this plus button, and partition is okay. First, I would like to create a EFI partition for the boot, and the mount point will be boot/EFI. Okay, so the requirement from Fedora is that you create a 600 megabytes of EFI partition. However, I suggest just going to using 1 gigabyte, and then press OK. It is fine, press OK. Now let's create another partition from the free space. Now it will be partition, that is fine, and we are going to select ext4 for this one, and the mount point will be boot. Okay, and for this the size will be 1 gigabytes. Then ext4 label, no need, press OK. Now there is a free space, and again create a partition. Now I'm going to create an ext4 partition, and the mount point will be root, that is slash. Okay, 48 gigs is the amount of hard disk that is still available, and we will assign all that space to the root partition. And this is the basic configuration that you will need to do if you want to create a custom partition table. So these are all the partitions that you need, and then just click OK. And now we have all the partitions that we needed to create. Let's just click done. It will give a warning, a summary of changes. You just have to accept it and then begin installation. And now we just have to wait. Alright, so the installation is completed. Let's finish installation. Now let's just reboot this machine because we are booted into a live USB. So let's just restart. And if you have your USB plugged in at this moment, I recommend you remove that USB. Alright, so the installation is complete and we have booted into our operating system. Let's just configure the machine for the now. Alright, so location services, you don't need that. Automatic problem reporting, it's your choice, but for this I'm going to disable it. Then next. Alright, so you should enable these third-party repositories because a lot of software will be available here that you will need in your machine. So let's just enable them. Next. Okay, so now let's just create a user account, JD, my name, and then click next. Password, I'm going to use a very strong password, so let's use this 1 2 3 4. I think it should be very strong. Yes, it is very strong. No. Will it accept it? Yeah. So it is done now. Now you can start using it. You can take the tour if you like, but I'm just gonna skip it. And there it is, the Fedora installation. So that is it for this video. I hope you liked it. And if you do, then click on that like button. And if you really like this video, then please go ahead and click on the subscribe button too. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.